Well, why they can't replace cash? I'm going to give you a little heads up on that because I know you hear all this stuff on the internet. Yeah, they're going to replace cash. It's all going to be electronic society. Yeah, maybe. Well, actually, I'm going to tell you something, a couple tidbits. Actually, one is a major media story. Maybe it's floating around now in the alternative media, too. There was 100,000 transcripts. Well, 100,000 people's information, sensitive, private information that was stolen off the IRS website or IRS function website that's called Get Transcript. And Get Transcript is a thing where you basically it's used by CPAs most of the time. Use a power of attorney that you can get the other person's information, and there's a function that you can see the transcript of everything the IRS has on you for a given tax year. So you make sure you're not leaving any kind of information out. That's what it is, actually. So somebody hacked into it and got a lot of information. They got 100,000 different people's information. So that's one reason you really can't go all electronic, because nothing's secure. Number two, and I forgot the damn statistics. I think I said it on another one of my videos, but it wasn't something I read. It was something I was told by the owner of the firm. That there's literally many billions, several billions of dollars worth of tax fraud that the IRS, well, in other words, identity fraud, basically identity fraud, that the IRS has to pay out to victims because somebody's making a proper return. Somebody else filed a return, got the money, and they walked off with it. And then what happens is the next year you use your SSN, and the IRS gives you a 6-digit a number, assigns you a special number on top of that when you file your return. So to make, and it goes on for several years, and each year that number, that add-on 6-digit number changes. But there's a lot of problem with electronic cheating. Now, if you want to just put it that simple, there's a major problem with it. So let me put it to you this way: they're not going to be able to get rid of cash that easily. And the other thing is, like you notice I'm riding this bike here. I don't trust electronic anything. I always have backup systems wherever I can. On this bike, I actually have the points system that if the electronic craps out, I have the wire that's underneath there that goes to the pickup coil on the electronic. I just disconnect the wire there's a quick disconnect, and I can put the points in it, which is actually the same as the Chevy 6-cylinder points. If we ever have an EMP, it doesn't even have to be an attack like we have right now going on in this Earth, the problem where the magnetosphere is the lowest it's been in 2,000 years. Typically that makes us far more susceptible to solar flares. That's what happened during the 1859 Carrington event. I mean, you're just going to have to use paper. The world ain't going to stop. You'll use paper. But, there's nothing that's, since all these electronic circuits aren't really hardened against that type of stuff, they're sensitive to going out or going down. But number two is the ongoing thing that's happening right now is there's a lot of electronic identity theft and tax fraud that's going on, and just electronic fraud that's going on left and right, and theft, whereby, you say cash is insecure. In some ways, it's got advantages and disadvantages. So, they're not going to be able to get rid of it that damn easy, even though they want to. These control freaks, they want to get rid of it because that's what they are. They're control freaks, and they think they're going to own you somehow or another. But, it's always like this. The damn people on the top, they're so shrewd, they outsmart themselves. They paint themselves in a corner, and they go, oh, shit. That's usually what it is. But don't rely on that. But, here's my point on this. I never like putting out a video where it's all bitching about something. I never do that. Sometimes I do because I'm getting pissed off, but normally my focus is on just telling you what the problem is and giving you a positive solution and keeping a positive outlook. Because, it's when you think you're defeated and you think everything's all screwed up, you're already freaking lost, man. You're already lost. You go into a game of anything and you think, hey man, I'm like, oh, this is so bad, it's so terrible. You're already freaking halfway lost right there, man. I mean, if you don't freaking think you can freaking win the situation and keep a positive attitude, you're definitely not going to be able to. It gives you a major edge. Like, I'm not saying keep your head in la la land where, like, these things, I'm telling people these things are problems or whatever the hell it is, but you're not going to be able to get rid of cash that easily. Cash is going to be around a long time. Now, if they take Andrew Jackson off the $20 bill, I'm going to tell them, I don't want that damn bill. You give me 10s, 5s, or 50s. I don't want that. Too bad. I'm going to tell you that right now. So, but anyway, a lot of people don't know that, it costs the IRS billions of dollars every year because people are filing other people's returns fraudulently, and then they got to pay this out because they got to pay it out to the legitimate person, and they got to find out who the hell stole the money. It's probably easier to steal money electronically than it is physically, even though you think that's not the case. So, and then just recently, a lot of people don't understand how the IRS got hacked. There's a function called Get Transcript, and it's usually available to that's who it's available to, like CPAs and professional tax practitioners. And what the client signs is, where you have the authorization, power of attorney for the CPA can pull this information out, and they say specifically what years it is. It's going to be 2012, 2013, 2014, or whatever. And that's what you do, and that's all you're allowed to do. So that function got hacked into, and 100,000 people's information got stolen. It's just more that you really can't go all electronic, man. There's just no way to protect it. They haven't gotten it down, they haven't gotten it figured out enough yet. And like I said, there's always this outside chance. It only has to happen once. God, if we ever had an EMP Carrington event, God, the whole thing's shutting down, all the electronic stuff. But, economy's not going to shut down. We'll just go back to paper. So anyway, just want to put this out here in a little common sense way, Don't think Darth Vader's got it all figured out there in the financial world. They don't, okay?